students. Today we are going to discuss with decomposition and displacement. In my previous videos, I have discussed with combination reaction and decomposition, the first part, that is thermal decomposition. Now today, rest of the parts, that is two parts left, that is electrolytic and photolytic, I am going to cover, and displacement and double displacement. Clear? Shall I start? Yes. Now, what is electrolytic decomposition? Thermal already I have discussed with, and decomposition means breaking down of the complex compound into two or more simpler substances. That is known as decomposition. Now, first is electrolytic decomposition. Electrolytic decomposition means when the decomposition takes place in presence of electric current, and for that we need the electrolytic tank to decompose. Clear? Now this is the electrolytic tank in which two electrodes are there, that will conduct electricity, and these two electrodes are connected with the battery, that is positive end and negative end. The positive end is known as anode end and the negative end is known as cathode. Clear? And the liquid which is filled inside the tank, that is known as electrolyte. So here we are decomposing water, so electrolyte we will take, that is filled with water, and along with the H2SO4 is used. That means it acts as a catalyst which increases the speed of the reaction, but itself will not used up in the reaction. So this is known as catalyst. So H2SO4 will speed up this electrolytic reaction, but it itself will not used. Now what happens? Listen. Now H2O, if I break this, it is H positive and OH negative. Now H positive, it will move when it will break, when the electricity is passed, the water particle will break and breaks into H positive and OH negative. And what happens then? The H positive will move towards the cathode side because it itself is a negative, and oxygen part which will move towards the anode side. And here it will connect in this form, that is oxygen is toward anode because oxygen is negative. So here it will be O2, and hydrogen is positive, move towards the negative end, that is cathode, which is H2. Now what will be the reaction then? See, water decomposes to give hydrogen gas and oxygen gas in presence of current, electric current. Clear? This is how we write in presence of, that is up on the arrow. Okay, now here when we balance this, see H2, but here one oxygen, two oxygen. In my balancing video I have already explained, we will not write anywhere in front of it. Now here it is 1, so we will balance it to 2 in front of this. Now oxygen is balanced, but 2 2s are 4, that means hydrogen is not balanced. So what will we do? 2 2s are 4. Now this is balanced. Now after the reaction, what will we see? That here it is 2 volume of water is required to form 2 volume of hydrogen, and 1 volume of oxygen is released. Again I am repeating, 2 volume of water on decomposition forms 2 volume of hydrogen and 1 volume of oxygen gas will released. Now the thing is, very important, why the volumes are not equal? Why we are taking 2 volume, why the hydrogen is double the volume of oxygen? Very important. In your board the question comes, in electrolytic decomposition 2 gases are released. What are those 2 gases? Hydrogen and oxygen. Second part, which gas is double the volume of oxygen gas? It will be hydrogen. Clear? And the third part, why? See this question, why the hydrogen is double to that of the oxygen gas? What will be the answer? When we balance the equation to satisfy the law of conservation of mass, that is, mass can neither be created nor destroyed. That is why after the reaction, one gas is the double the volume of another gas. Clear, students? This is electrolytic decomposition of water. Only this is there in your book. So I'll not take other reactions. I'm strictly following my NCERT book. So in CBSE, this is the question. Clear? Now next decomposition is photolytic. As the name suggests, photo means light. Lytic means to break. So electrolytic. Lytic means break, electricity. Breaking in presence of electricity. Lytic, breaking in presence of sunlight. Right? So which reaction that breaks in presence of sunlight, decomposes in presence of sunlight, that is known as photolytic decomposition. Suppose if we take one watch glass in which the AgCl white color powder is kept and kept under sunlight for few hours. Now what will we see? What will we observe after the reaction? We will find the grayish color, some substance, and the pungent smelling gas is releasing. Now what is that? AgCl in presence of sunlight will break down or decompose to give grayish color silver, and chlorine gas is released. Chlorine gas will release to the atmosphere, and grayish color silver is used in polishing the mirror. You can see behind the mirror there is silver polishing. That is this silver. Clear? So this is the decomposition of silver chloride. And again white. This is white powder. Next is, we can also go with AgBr, chlorine, bromine, iodine, these are, but only bromine and chlorine undergoes this kind of thing. So this kind of reaction, sunlight, it again forms Ag plus Br2. Now if we balance Cl2, 2Cl, 2Ag, 2AgBr, now this is balanced. So these two reactions are very important, which is there in your NCERT. Now question, a white color powder in presence of sunlight breaks down to give. Suppose if I say a white color powder capital X breaks down or decomposes to give capital Y, and the pungent color gas is released. Identify X and Y. 2 marks or 3 marks question. Now, first white color, you are tracing AgCl. Grayish color, that is Y, silver. And the pungent gas chlorine is released. And where it is used? These two reactions are used in black and white photography. Very important. These two reactions are used in black and white photography. Clear? What is photolytic decomposition? In presence of sunlight, and the photosynthesis also photolytic reaction. In this, CO2 plus H2O gives C6H12O6 plus oxygen gas. That is again taking place in presence of light. That is why it is known as photolytic reaction. Clear? Now next come displacement. Now let me start with displacement reaction. Now what is the meaning of displacement? Displacement means one is taking place to the other. Suppose if I say AB, A plus BC. Suppose this is one salt solution. Always one is salt and one is metal. One is metal. This is metal salt solution. We will not take any of the non-metal. Metal salt solution and metal. Now when A reacts with B, how it will displace? It will displace B from C, forming AB plus C. So this is how the reaction takes place. One metal displaces the another one. Now one metal displaces, what is the meaning? High reactive metal displaces the low reactive metal. Always low will never displace the high reactive metal. Clear, students? High reactive metal will displace the low reactive metal from its solution to form its own compound, and the C metal will release out. Clear? Yes. C and the B will release. C. There is one mistake. AC, that is, this is a salt solution. Salt solution means this is positive and this is negative part, and this is positive. So definitely positive will go towards the negative, and it will displace the B from this. It will displace the B from this, so it forms AC plus B compound. This is called decomposition. And now what happens? Decomposition in displacement reaction. Now what happens? The high reactive metal displaces the low reactive metal to form its own solution, and the weaker metal or the low reactive metal will displace. Now the thing is, how will we come to know which is more reactive and which is less reactive? For this, we have to know about reactivity series. Now, very important student, what is reactivity series? It is the arrangement of the metals. Only metals I am talking about, not the non-metal. It is the arrangement of the metal according to its reactivity. This is the arrangement which I have shown here. Here, this is the highest reactive, and this is the least reactive. When we move down towards the bottom, the reactivity always decreases. These are all means one on another. When next, suppose this is high reactive, this is low comparison to this. Comparison to this, these are high. So as we move down, then what happens? At the bottom is the least and top of the series, it is the highest. Now how to recall this? How to recall this? Very, very important. Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, mercury, silver, gold and platinum. Clear? Tin is not there in your syllabus, so I have not entered tin here, but tin is also there. Now next is, how will we recall this? The simplistic mnemonic is there that helps you to learn this chart. Now because this is very, very important, this will also use in acid base as well as in metal non-metal. So reactivity series definitely you people have to learn. Now students, listen. Now this is potassium. Professor for potassium. SC, sodium and calcium, Professor SC. Now from here to here, muzzle, how? Muzzle, M, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead. Muzzle. There is standard line, that is hydrogen. Above hydrogen all are mostly highly reactive, and below hydrogen they are less reactive. So chap, copper, mercury, CHAAP, copper, mercury, silver, gold and platinum. Professor SC muzzle chap, this is the name only you have to learn, and the series is ready. Because without this series you can't come to know which is high reactive metal and which is low reactive metal. Now if I go with the reaction, suppose if I say, very important, come. Suppose if I say the reaction is displacement reaction, that is Zn reacts with copper sulfate. One is always solution and another is metal. In both there is metal. There are two metals are there. So that means you have to trace which is more highly reactive, which is less. Now here on this chart, copper is here and zinc is here. So which is more reactive, students? Zinc. Yes. See, it is above. Right? So Professor SC muzzle chap, the zinc is here. So zinc can able to displace and can displace the copper. That means copper is going to displace. So copper plus itself, it will form ZnSO4 solution. This type of reaction is known as displacement. One metal is displacing the other metal from its salt solution. Another example, one more. Suppose if I say copper plus FeSO4. Yes, students, ready. Copper plus FeSO4. Now you trace those two metals which are present. Here, this and this. We will see whether this metal is highly or low. This is lower than iron or more than reactive than iron. See, copper is below iron. That means copper is less reactive. This is how the confused question is coming to your board, and the student writes USO4 plus Fe. See student, not all, it's not necessary कि वो displace करेगा ही. It's not, you have to check whether this is reactive or not. Now we know that copper is less reactive, can't be possible. So what you will write? No reaction. No reaction will take place. Where is it? Clear? Next, again, if I say Pb, lead plus CuSO4. Yes, student. Which is more reactive, copper or lead? Lead. directly you will check out in this, draw this chart near that wherever you are using this, and make this chart and check it out from there which is more reactive. Here in this chart lead is up, that is upper than that of the copper. So that means lead is more reactive. So lead can able to displace to form PbSO4 and copper will release out. This is how the reactions are going on. Keep practicing. If you are learning this and if it is ready in your mind, that means you can able to do this. Now next topic is double displacement. Again the displacement, the term is there, double displacement. Here we will take two salt solution. Very very important, student. Suppose if I take BaSO4, this is barium sulfate plus NaC. Clear? This is double displacement. Here I have taken two salt solution. Now the thing is, barium is not in the series. Then what will you do? I told you high reactive. That is for single displacement I am talking about, not for the double. Now here in double displacement, again there are two metals and one will displace another. But how it will be? What we will do? Very very important. In double displacement reaction, there is always exchange of ion takes place. Exchange of ions. What is the meaning of this? Exchange of ions. Now we all know positive and negative. Suppose if I am talking about barium, it is positive. Sulfate is always negative. Sodium is positive. Chlorine is negative. And what is the meaning of positive? Positive means losing of electron. And negative means gaining of electron. Now here what will happen? This barium will lose its electron to the negative end of the next compound, and the second compound, the positive, will move towards the sulfate. That means losing its electron, and sulfate is ready to gain that electron. Now what happens here? See, what happens? Exchange of ion. It will give its ion to this, and sodium is giving its ion to this. Here the exchange of ions are taking place in these compounds, and what it will form? It will form BaCl2, barium chloride plus sodium sulfate, Na2SO4. So this is how the reaction takes place. And in double displacement reaction, always the precipitate is formed. Now what is precipitate? Precipitate, it is the insoluble compound which is collected at the bottom of the test tube after the reaction. Suppose we are reacting this, and after the reaction what will be found? There is some PPT, that is precipitate, is collected at the bottom of the test tube, which is not soluble, which is insoluble in the solution. One is soluble, another is insoluble. Always the precipitate is formed. That is why this reaction is also known as precipitation reaction. Question 1 mark. Name another name of double displacement reaction. And why? Double displacement, the other name of the double displacement is precipitation reaction, and in this always the precipitate is formed. Clear? So this is how the precipitate is formed. I'll take one more example. Suppose if I take Ki plus HNO3. Clear? Yes. Now K positive. Suppose if I take KNO3 plus Na I2. Yes. Clear? Na. Yes, 1 cancel. Now positive, negative, positive, negative. So positive will go towards the negative end, and here the positive electrons will move towards the NO3. Then what will be the reaction? Ki, 1 cancel, Ki plus NaNO3. Now this is the soluble solution and this is the precipitate. right? Clear, students? This is another sort of reaction of precipitation reaction in which this is the yellow PPT is formed in this, right? Another example, if I say, suppose if I take lead chloride Pb Cl2 plus NaI. Again, if I take sodium iodide, yes. Now positive, negative, positive, negative. Positive electron will lose its electron towards the negative end and the positive of sodium will lose towards the chlorine. What is the formula then? PbI2. Pb2I1 crisscross Pbi2 lead iodide plus NaCl. NaCl. So PbI2, again this is yellow color. So these are all colorful, this is white PPT, colorful PPTs will form, right? So this type of reaction is known as precipitation reaction. There is one thing which I just slipped in displacement reaction. What will happen if there is hydrogen in between? Hydrogen is above hydrogen, all are reactive, below hydrogen, all are less reactive. If I say Zn plus H2SO4, now very important, now the metal is not there, instead of metal it is hydrogen. Now hydrogen, it is there in the line, hydrogen can be considered as metal as well as non-metal. So what will happen? Zinc is more reactive than hydrogen or not? Yes. So zinc will displace this. So this is hydrogen will displace, that means it forms ZnSO4 solution plus hydrogen gas will release. So very important, zinc granules when react with sulfuric acid, it forms ZnSO4 plus hydrogen. This is again in single displacement which I just slipped off. So please go through all this. Next again if I say Fe. Fe plus HCl. What it will form? Fe can displace because Fe is more reactive than hydrogen. So it will form FeCl2 plus hydrogen gas will release. Clear? If I say copper plus H2SO4. Yes students, you all write CuSO4 plus hydrogen. Wrong, because copper is below the hydrogen. So what you will write? No reaction. No reaction. So this is how you will manage with, if you are learning this reactivity series, that is, it is the series of metal which is arranged according to its reactivity. Clear? So today I have discussed decomposition and displacement and double displacement. In double displacement, always the exchange of ions will take place and precipitate is formed, which is the insoluble substance collected at the bottom of the test tube after the reaction. That is why double displacement is also known as precipitation reaction. Right? Any doubt, student? If you are finding any query or doubt, please write it in the comment section. Okay? So, like, share and subscribe. Thank you, my dear students. Thank you so much.